block our view of much of the sun light getting through. But yeah, we're about 15 minutes away. But as we pan over in this direction and we go from looking to the west to looking to the east northeast, hey, out there in the distance, how about the advantage point that the guys in the sky must have, guys and gals? Let's tilt up, see how well this works in this late day lighting. I think it looks pretty good. And we'll even zoom in a little bit more and see how well that holds up. Hope you're all doing well. I don't know the actual temperature right now, but I can tell you uh, I'm wearing shorts, so it's not too bad. Hey, Tom. Peace, brother. How you doing? Well, check this out. There we go. Wouldn't it be cool if in the next 15 minutes or so, some sunlight managed to get through and light that all up? Now I can really see that balloon dipping. It's only got so much light off, but it's going to land over there just on the other side of the Snohomish River. Those are the Cascade Mountains for the unacquainted. Excellent, Tom says. Right on. Hey, Triple Tall. There with a cup of coffee. Thank you so much. Isn't that beautiful? Thanks, Tom. Hey, Zach. It's interesting a car stopped on the top of the hill here. Saw the same thing we're looking at, the same thing you're looking at, and paused, turned off the engine, and took a few pictures. In fact, it's right over here now. Hang on. Stopping again, because it's what we used to call a Kodak moment, that's for sure. Let's get it back and boy, it's really going down. Hey, Kit. Up and away. Well, yeah, that would have been the story about an hour or so ago. Right now it's down, and find a patch of ground before it gets dark. Boy, once that pilot makes his or her mind up to put it down, they get down there in a hurry, don't they? What's immediately come fly with me. When I hear that, I think of Jet Screamer on the Jetsons. I don't know if that's what you're referring to. The old Eep Op Ork Ah Ah song. How's that for recall? But what I'm immediately noticing, you guys, is boy, this phone is doing so much better in this type of lower light than my iPhone 7 Plus. This is the 12 Pro Max. And there it goes, ducking just beyond that tree. And where it's landing, hey, Mark Beamish, where it's landing is just on the other side of the Snohomish River. Let me zoom out and see if I can see. Not bad for a phone these days, huh? I'm going to stand just over here, and I think we can still get a peek at that. I'll get off the road here. Yeah, I can see it. Let's zoom in once again. Hang on. I'm using a different gimbal today. Yeah, you can see the balloon just about to hide. See, there's a branch here in the foreground, in the center of our shot, just above. Right beneath it, you can see the envelope of the balloon just now slowly finding its way down, disappearing. Kit says she crewed for a hot air balloon pilot several years, got to go up many times. Wow, Kit, that's awesome. I've thought about what it'd be like to do a Periscope broadcast. Let's go back over this way now. Back to our familiar perch. The Zoom did well, didn't it? Looks like a place here near Ebby's Landing. Ebby's Landing. Interesting, Tom. Tom's out that way, you guys, over on Whidbey Island. Yeah, I sure did, Mark. Thank you. That was a beautiful eagle picture that you got. There have been some interesting bald eagle photos in the in the news. Um, Someone shared, and it's actually, I think, on a Darrington, Washington thread, a picture of an eagle um, clutching what appeared to be a cat, and the word was to keep your pet. This is why you keep your pets indoors. I think was the spirit of the thread. Tracy, it's pretty nice, isn't it? We just had a hot air balloon. We watched it in the distance behind us toward the Cascade Mountains, but now it's just landed. Boy, it didn't take long for that balloon to make up its mind and get down. Tom was at the was in Mount Vernon today for the Tulip Festival, and I think you told us you were going to do that, and it was the last day of the festival. Is that right? Was today the last day? Being a Sunday, that would make sense. Hi, Carrie. Good evening. Thanks, Tom. Well, Tom, I gotta believe you took some pictures. This is where, if it was a little bit clearer, we'd make out Mount Baker no problem. Now, so here's the challenge. I can barely make out Mount Baker in the distance there. Tom, I look forward to the pics. Um, I'm going to zoom in with this and see if you can make out. It's hard to see to the human eye, but I'll put it Mount Baker Square. It blends in with the clouds that are over there. You kind of almost have to be familiar with the topography here to kind of know where to see it. Yeah, I can barely see. I can see the dip, the cone in the sky there. Cascade Mountains. I didn't know our high school had mountains. Hey, Dave. Dave, I'm cracking up. I was laughing out loud looking at video of you about an hour ago. I was watching the old human chainsaw videos. I watched all of the first one. Here, let me just pan over this way. And I watched parts of the second one. And you going through the desert in Tucson. I hadn't watched that in the Human Chainsaw 2. That was from 1993. Oh my gosh, that was something else to see, Dave. So Mount Baker is really blending in with the sky there, but I'm putting it. You can kind of see the dip at the top of it there. A little bit of shadowing there. Ah, Carrie can see it very clear from Victoria when you live there. Not at the moment, but when you live there. Okay. So we'll zoom that all the way back out. Dave, you have some excellent pictures. Dave's really gotten into David Abe Abrahamson into photography, and he's done a really great line of bird photos, small birds in the wintertime in snowy scenes as they're perched on small tree limbs, and they're just beautiful. And he's got them nicely decorated with a Christmas theme. Dave, go ahead and feel free to put up your URL for your Etsy store or your username on Etsy, and people can check it out. I've known Dave since middle school, and then we went to high school together. We were both distance runners, and we've shared a lot of great times together. He was an excellent runner, and these days he's still in great shape. He's a personal trainer. Hey, Guy, great to see you once again. Had so much fun with you yesterday, and good to see you this morning as well via Zoom, our meeting. Yeah, we've known each other for a long time. I hope Dave Abrahamson puts up his Etsy handle so people can check out his bird photos. He only recently took up, photography seriously. He's got his own DSLR, and I believe it's a DSLR, and he's getting great photographs from Wilsonville, Oregon, just outside of Portland. Guy Cochran, I'm shooting with my new phone, and this is my first time here doing a live stream with it at this spot. And normally with my old one, the iPhone 7 Plus, I wouldn't get very good resolution. But here with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, it's done really well. When we started this stream, there was a hot air balloon just coming down in the distance there, probably, I don't know, a couple miles away. And I zoomed all the way in. We could see it pretty well, and it was holding up really well in the light. Dave, I'm not too kind. Let people see those cards, man. Share that Etsy link with us so people can see those Christmas cards you made. I think they're great. So yeah, we're in relatively low light. Hey, Guy, I got to tell you, I was looking at the those Black Magic cameras, the 4K and the 6K that you were talking about. Oh my goodness! And then I saw that really to get that engine running, you got to get all some of the attachments, of course, the lens and some of the other peripherals to really fully maximize. And I'm thinking, okay, well, This would be $1,500 to $2,000, no problem. Maybe $2,500 if I go with the 6K and all the peripherals that make it a great live streaming camera as well as everything else. But it's so fun to look at gear. Let's bring it back out. Dave, you're being shy. I want to see that Etsy link, man. Next time I'm going to come here with the Etsy link, and I'll paste it in. I'll copy it before I start a stream, and I'll paste it in, and I'll brag about you. Okay? Here, I'll flip this around. All right, Dave Abrahamson, you've been told. If you don't provide it now, I'll provide it in the next stream. Anyway, Dave Abrahamson and I, just to kind of finish up the story, I mentioned we've known each other since middle school, Eisenhower Middle School, South Everett, Washington, then Cascade High School. We made a video in 1990 off the cuff when I was living in Yakima, and Dave has a talent for making a certain sound. Sounds like a chainsaw is one kind of sound you might say it is. And just spur of the moment, when he came over and visited me in Yakima, I grabbed a camera from the TV station that I was working at. Back in those days, we shot with these big Ikegami cameras with an umbilical cord that attached to a 3/4-inch deck. Dave says, Guy says, lucky dog, I've been saving for the iPhone 12 Max purchase for a splurge. And yeah, you can rack up a pretty nice Blackmagic package quick with the 4K or 6K Pocket Cinema model. Those are the ones I was looking at. I was going through videos, Guy. There's some really nice videos and tutorials on what those things can do. You can even get a nice little housing around them for putting your peripherals on. Yeah, yeah. I mentioned to my wife, I said, you got to take a look at this camera. And she goes, make a note of it. She was busy. Make a note of it. So she's willing to look, okay? She's willing to look. But I'm also looking at an A10 Mini Pro. Anyway, back to the story. So Dave and I made this spur of the moment mock news story. Back in the day in Seattle, there was a program called Almost Live. And it was kind of in the spirit of an almost live mock news story. And so we went into the Cascade Mountains and we mocked him being this wild creature called the human chainsaw, the elusive, kind of like Bigfoot, human chainsaw. And that's kind of lived with us now for 31 years. But the cool thing is, 3 years after that, in 1993, I was working in Tucson and Dave flew down and we made the human chainsaw Quest for Cacti, Escape to Arizona. And we made a totally new video that was much longer, much more obsessed upon. And it was, we went up into the Santa Catalina Mountains outside of Tucson and had a lot of fun, put them in a loincloth. We had them spring up from a swimming pool in slow motion with face paint and did yet another mockumentary. Yeah. So enough of looking at me. Let's flip it around. Guy, I tell you what, I got to change my sleeping habits now that we're meeting with the office hours group every morning. Well, you've been doing it longer than I have. I'm a newbie, but getting up that early means, which is early for me, I should say, means I've got to get up, get to bed earlier, and I have yet to train myself on that. Oh, Guy, well, if you're still here, I have a question for you. Do you think that the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, 4K or 6K, would that make a good live streaming camera, web camera? I know it's overkill for the typical web camera, but I think that's what they were using last night or yesterday last night on Marisa. I think because I had to zoom in and get her in frame. I think that might have been a Blackmagic Cinema Pro. So the funny thing is, I've been using my Canon 7D as my webcam with some software called SparkoCam. And I always want to go and shoot with it too. So it's like, okay, take it off the tripod, undo the wires, blah, 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 blah. Guy says, I'm up at 4:30 a.m. Pacific time to catch office hours with Alec Lindsay. Right on, there it is. So guys, I have to tell you, if you're interested, check out on YouTube. Check out Office Hours. That's the name of the program. It's hosted by Alec Lindsay. And he's often times, oh, there's a cat right over here. Hey, cat, where you going? Out here, we call you bait when you're loose and crossing the road and going into the coyote woods like that. Um, okay, we use the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema to live stream Mad in the kitchen. Okay, so that's the main camera as well on Madeline. Okay, Tom's up at 4 a.m. There's a bit of color out there. It shows up nicely on this phone. Let's keep an eye on that for a while. So, yeah, I just have to train myself. I've always been a night owl. I've always been most creative, and I always value the time after the kids hopefully fall asleep. That keeps me up, you know. So I just got to get more sleep. But I am having so much fun. But yeah, check out the program with Alec Lindsay. It's a morning group. Oh, here's Dave Abrahamson. Awesome. I hope this works. Abenkin's shop on Etsy, etsy.com/shop/Abe and Kim. Kim is Dave's lovely wife. Of how many years has it been now, Dave? What have you been married? Like 25 years? So definitely check out Dave's Etsy site and look for his recent edition of, I mean, again, he only recently took up, got a DSLR, I believe it is, and started, it's probably been about 6 months, maybe 9 months ago. He's doing great. And he got these wonderful bird shots in the snow as these small birds are perched on these trees with the snow covered branches. Very festive. And he made some really decorative Christmas cards. And they're on his Etsy store. You know, before things get quiet in the dark of night, it's just nice to hear the chatter of the birds. 23 years, been married, 25 together. Dave, I remember around the time you met, you must have still been, at that time, I think you were driving for Millstone before it was owned by Johnson & Johnson, and you were delivering large pounds of coffee beans on your route. And I was living in the Southwest, and you would send me these 10-pound bags, I want to say. Were they 10 pounds, 5 pounds? I don't know. Huge bags of coffee beans, and I just put them in the freezer. You were so good to me. And to this day, Dave always sends me every Christmas holiday music on a CD. And he's been doing that forever. What a friend. All sorts of music. He's got a very diverse and deep taste in music. 5-pound bags. Thanks for setting the records straight, counselor. Of course, we're in that time of year now where everything is finally budding and blooming, and just a bit of a breeze out here, just enough to cool off the top of my bald head. Oh, I wanted to mention, I've gone back. This is the first time in months that I have streamed using this gimbal, which I'm going to mispronounce it. I think once upon a time when I bought it, I briefly mastered it, but it's like Zhiyun. It's a Chinese company, and I think this is the Model 3. But recently, and I'm sure Dave's going to try and answer that question succinctly, which will be a challenge. Dave, meet Tom. Tom, meet Dave. Tom is on Whidbey Island, as the name suggests, Dave. Just think Oak Harbor Invitational. When we were in high school, we would run at Oak Harbor. By the way, Guy Cochran is a proud graduate of Oak Harbor High School. But more recently, a few months ago, I bought the DJI Osmo 3, which I bought for two reasons. The primary reason was the easy access to the charging port, and it could also charge connected to the gimbal, that Osmo 3. The second reason I bought it is you just put your phone in a clip, or you could use this magnet mounted to your phone directly, which I didn't do. And you just basically pop it on. So all the ease and convenience. But with this new iPhone 12 Pro Max, it doesn't hold the phone as well. It eventually collapses, and it might be 1 minute, it might be 10 minutes, but it's going to do that. So that's an issue. So I thought I will try using the older Zhiyun, or Zhiyun model gimbal here, and I can't charge the phone, so I guess I'm risking this thing dying, because I think I started with about a 70% charge. But this should hold for a while. This is a newer phone. My iPhone 7 Plus, you know how it goes with Apple. You get to a point and all of a sudden things start going wonky. Memory starts acting up. The charging port starts stuttering. It just doesn't want to play nice. And you wonder if that last iOS update did something to sabotage your phone, sabotage your phones, because Apple wants you back at buying another one. Hey, I resisted that for many months. But then here I am with the 12, which I've been looking looking at and drilling over for since it was released. One of the things that's really cool, you guys, and I just want to share this, and this will be old news to Guy Cochran. By the way, Guy's background is definitely video and lighting and audio. He's very, very knowledgeable, and he's the owner of the DVE store in Everett, Washington. It's really not so much a store you walk in, although you can do that. They get online business and then they ship around the world. And the great thing about the DVE store is you not only get great customer service on the front end, you get it on the back end. They're there to help you with any questions you might have. I was telling my wife this. We were just thinking about what Guy had done for us. Where I work for the state, and we had went to B&H. The state did. It wasn't my decision. I wanted to go to the DVE store, but they bought a TriCaster Mini back in 2017 and some related gear. We spent about I want to say $15,000, and the state ordered it because they've historically gone to this company B&H out of New York. Well, I was having problems with it. It was acting up, and I didn't B&H and the manufacturer NewTek of that device, they weren't giving me what I consider satisfactory customer service. I told Guy about it. He said, "You can bring it in here. We'll help you out." I mean, they didn't even sell it to the state. I was the lone guy who operated that. We used it for live streaming, but that's the kind of customer service the DVE store will give you. If you want to get into some nice cameras and live streaming and lighting and whatnot, check out dvestore.com. So I always tend up about sharing about Guy's story. He probably doesn't want me to do that every time. He never asked me to. He's not that kind of person. But I can't help but, I mean, I get excited to share it because when you get customer service like that, and you get the people who patiently answer your questions and all of that, and they help you so much on the back end. You know how it is. You buy something from a manufacturer and you might be on the phone forever. And when you finally get there, you get bounced around. You don't get the information you need. At the end of the day, you've been on the phone for an hour and a half, or dealing with a chat bot on your computer. It's frustrating. Well, when you get great customer service, that resonates. And I think, especially in today's day and age, and that's always what I've had with Guy's Store. So that's why I'm such an enthusiastic sharer of that good information. They're located, for the folks who live in this area and familiar with the area, Tom, Dave Abrahamson, others. The DVE store is down on the waterfront in Everett. It's in the old Everett Herald building, which is a huge building. I mean, it is huge. And that's where the DVE store is located. It used to be located in Marysville. The store has done well, and it's graduated to bigger space. So it's just awesome. If you have any live streaming, like if you want to step up your live streaming game or just your video production game, check them out. They ship all over the world, and they're really great. And I'm glad Tom and Dave Abrahamson have said hello. All right. I'm just thinking over the years, especially when I was on Periscope, so many live streams from this spot where I'm standing, and even more so along this road after it dips down the hill and around the bend down there by the farm field. We've watched so many scenes with snow geese and trumpeter swans. Guy says, "Appreciate that, Mark. Remember, it's been fun watching you grow over the years. Love the Eagle stuff with Christian and that car event we did." Oh yeah, it's all cool, isn't it? It's the car event. I think was probably around 2012 or 2013, and Guy kindly allowed me to tag along and assist as we tested some live streaming equipment. I think we were in Woodinville, and it was at an exotic car show. So there were all sorts of fancy sports cars, I mean, real expensive stuff. and we were live streaming, and we live streamed on the way there. And get this, at that time, this was quite like we thought we were doing something most people had never done. We were in a vehicle. I think we had like a van or something. And en route to the event, we're on this vehicle and we live streamed while we were moving. We just thought that was the coolest thing. This is how fast technology is moving. And then we got there, we just kept doing the live stream, and we interviewed the car owners, and they showed us and gave us tours of their vehicles, and it was all shiny red, yellow, orange, all sorts of you know cars manufactured around the globe. And if you were a car enthusiast, this was an event for you. Whether you were watching the stream or you was hopefully there in person, you just dig this. So we had a lot of we were using some by the comparison to a cell phone like I'm using right now, we were using some more expensive gear, and using an approach with USB ports that could bring in multiple sources. I think up to four. We were using one of the Teradek Cube or something, bringing in the mobile signals and bonding them together to get a usable signal. There you go, live streaming HD with 5 cellular modems bonded. That was it, and that was a really cool thing at that time, which was it was 2012 or 2013, I want to say. So it's been what 8 or 9 years. Uh, just it was really cool at the time to do that, and now look how fast technology is moving. Look how back then I think I had an Android. I think I had a Droid Incredible. I wasn't too far removed from my Verizon Trio, my Palm Pilot, whatever it was, with its little buttons and its little pen thing, which was like a little piece of steel to press the buttons. Don't forget the writing of your book. No camera at all. Okay. Um, I'm trying to catch up with you here, Dave. I wrote the book. When I think of you, Dave, I'm writing my book. That was in 2003, 2004. And in 2003, I was holed up in the desert in southern New Mexico doing that. And you sent me that wonderful Captain America clock. Dave's been on eBay for probably 25 years. And he's very artistic, not only behind the camera, but he makes figurines, and they're called sculpties. And he does like Marvel Comics heroes, and he does the Hulk, and I bet you he's done not only Captain America, but all sorts of characters. And what are you, Dave? I'm trying to think. You're Bianca. Is it Bianca on eBay? In fact, you were doing artwork for a trainer with the Los Angeles Lakers. I think you did a Kobe Bryant in a Shaq. I'm trying to remember. It was way back in the day. You guys, I resisted the temptation. The engine went bad in my 2002 Chevy Tahoe, and one place said they'd give me $1,000 for it as part of a trade-in. I was looking at getting a Nissan Rogue, but I opted not to do that. And my wife and I, we had a new transmission put in that Tahoe in 2018 or 19, and it just seemed ridiculous So anyway, long story short, we're having another engine put in to replace it. We're going to keep the Tahoe because you know, the trade-off is for a very reasonable price. I can get an engine with only 63,000 miles on it, and I'll still have that big vehicle wrapped around me with its all-wheel drive for the winter and all that kind of stuff. And when I have to haul things, camera gear, furniture, or make a dump run, I got that Tahoe. But so what we decided to do in the meantime was we picked up a Honda from Kirkland, and this is a used one, but it's so clean. It's just blew us away, and it only had 15,000 miles on it. So I got a Honda Accord. So I thought Honda Accords were going to be too small for me, but I have plenty of room in there. So now we have like the family car. And I couldn't believe it only had 15,000 miles on it. Don't know about the Kobe Bryant thing that you're thinking of, but I did train Maureen Love, sister of the Beach Boy Mike Love. Okay, so Dave's also a personal trainer. He's remained buffed all over the years. He's in excellent shape. In fact, he posted pictures of the scene at a track in Wilsonville, Oregon, where he was up prior to the sun rising at the apparently the local high school track, doing 50-yard sprints or accelerations on the field. Dave, we're closer to 60 than we are 50 now, my friend, and you're still out there looking like a 25-year-old. Can I see the moon? I'm wondering. Not yet. Sometimes we get some killer moon rises over this house, which is really nice. All right. My wife urged me to get out and do a stream. She said, fresh air will do you good. I was telling her I was tired. Dave, I took a nap today because I'm getting so. Hey, Gabriel, how you doing? All right. Yeah, it's good to get out. It feels nice to be out in the fresh air. And right here, it's not only fresh air, it's farm fresh air. It's not the extreme farm fresh air that you can get here in Snohomish or nearby Monroe. Um, a reference to the our four-legged friends, the cows. Thank you, Tom. I look forward to seeing you soon. In the next 30 days or so, I'm going to be doing a live stream on YouTube. Tom's going to be a guest, and I've asked him, and he seems to be playing ball. He seems to have taken me seriously. I didn't know if he really would want to do it, but I said, "Tell me, like, if someone was coming to Whidbey Island for the first time, where are like the top 5 or top 10 places they should really check out?" Guy Cochran, since he went to Oak Harbor, you might find that of interest. So Tom's an avid hiker out there with his dog Bella, and he posts his pictures on Instagram and on Twitter. So Tom seems ready to play ball and be a guest on a live stream, and we'll talk about places on Whidbey Island. Okay, right on. See you in the morning. Thanks, Guy. See you in the morning on Alex's show. I intend to be there, and thanks for the tip on the mic. I will definitely get up early enough because I was doing things last minute this morning. Test my audio in Zoom to make sure it sounds reasonably good, and hopefully I get a big thumbs up from Mickey on Alex's program. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night. Stay safe out there.